Hi y'all. So, if you are not a member of my Patreon, make sure you go ahead and click my Patreon link below. Help support my content. So, let's go ahead and jump right into this story. I'm kind of really wondering what would the world look like if people jumped to be as educated as they jump to be reactionary and to be offended. So I'm sure you guys have already seen the little now viral news story about Trump saying injecting disinfectant into people and things of that nature. Now, granted, I do think that he could have definitely worded what he was saying better. This is such a freaking non-story that it's annoying, okay? It's just really annoying at this point. These are real people's lives. There are people dying. You have millions of people not able to work, being on unemployment at this time. You have many people that are not leaving their homes. And once again, the media is putting y'all in a frenzy over a freaking non-story. This is a non-issue. I don't care about this. Give us real numbers. Give us real facts. Stop with the clickbaiting. But anyway, so let's just talk about this today. And let me say, this does not take away from the fact that some of them memes are hella funny. The one where the dude was like sitting on the couch and he got the little Clorox in the little, I was tripping out about that. Okay, there's nothing wrong with that. But then when you have a media that is hyping people up and making a non-story into a freaking story and such a big deal when it's really not, is where I draw the line. So anyway, let's talk about this a little bit today. We're starting off by showing you guys some articles. So today is April 25th, 24th. Today is April 24th. It's my sister's birthday. Happy birthday. Shout out to my sister. So this is according to Finance, Yahoo.com news. This was published on April 6th, okay? So a couple weeks ago. UV light is nature's disinfectant, but can it kill coronavirus? As society hunkers down in an attempt to stop the spread of COVID-19, commonly known as the coronavirus, people are taking stringent precautions to keep themselves from catching the disease, including self-quarantining and disinfecting commonly touched surfaces. As such, hand sanitizer, rubbing alcohol, and other disinfectants are currently in short supply. With man-made sanitizers in limited supply, many are turning to nature's disinfectant, ultraviolet light. Okay, UV irradiation has long been used to sterilize objects in rooms, so it makes sense to wonder, can UV light kill coronavirus? This goes on to talk about how UV light kills microbes. Viruses don't reproduce on their own, but they do have genetic material, either DNA or RNA. They reproduce by attaching to cells and injecting their DNA. Some viruses burst out of the infected cell, while others merge into the infected cell, reproducing every time the cell divides. If you've ever gotten a sunburn, you've had a taste of how UV light kills viruses. UV light can damage DNA. A DNA molecule is made of two strands bound together by four bases: adenine, cytosine, guanine, and thymine. These bases are like an alphabet, and their sequences form instructions for cells to reproduce. UV light can cause thymine bases to fuse together, scrambling the DNA sequence and essentially throwing a wrench into the machinery. Since the DNA sequence is no longer correct, it can no longer replicate properly. This is how UV light annihilates viruses by destroying their ability to reproduce. So this goes on to talk about this. This is a good article, and I'm actually going to link several articles, even beyond just some of the things that I'm going to show you guys today, but really good articles just talking about this in general, okay? So we've been kind of throwing this around. This is back from 2013. Is sunlight actually the best disinfectant, right? So there's several articles where you'll read about UV rays, and they'll actually use words like disinfectant, germicidal, and things like this, okay? It's not a freaking big deal, all right? Not only that, right? So we're going to go into the part of, well, you know, of course, you can use it on surfaces, but we're talking about injecting these things into people and things like this. A lot of the mainstream media was acting as if he was just talking about these harebrained scheme type of ideas. Okay, ultraviolet germicidal irradiation is a disinfection method. Disinfection method. Disinfect literally means to cleanse from infection, okay? To remove viruses and bacteria. That's what disinfection means, okay? Ultraviolet germicidal irradiation is a disinfection method that uses short wavelength ultraviolet light to kill or inactivate microorganisms by destroying nucleic acids and disrupting their DNA, leaving them unable to perform vital cellular functions, okay? We've already been using ultraviolet germicidal irradiation for food, air, and water purification. For some reason, if I told y'all that y'all bottled water went through a disinfecting program or a disinfected system, you would not assume that I put bleach in your water. That would not come to your head, okay? Now, let's talk about this actually working. So we talked about it with food, air, water. What about actually working inside of people, okay? Little may be known about this, but there's something called blood irradiation therapy, okay? This has been ultraviolet blood irradiation. This was actually very popular in the 40s and 50s before they started selling you guys freaking antibiotics, right? Because you have to use the antibiotics forever. You have to constantly do that when the blood irradiation therapy is actually like a cure. Okay, so what is blood irradiation therapy? It can be administered in 3 ways: extracorporeally, which means outside of the body, drawing blood and irradiating it, and then they inject that healthy blood back into you. Okay, they use a catheter. They do it through your veins. All right, this is something that's been happening for years. It's not very popular. I don't know why they choose not to use it. But this has been used for all type of respiratory diseases, bacterial infections, and things like this. So I have articles telling you about IV UV light therapy, how it works. I even have a picture of it here. Like I said, I didn't want to make this video super long, but I'm going to drop, I don't know, maybe over 10 articles, okay, talking about the practice of this, when it started, what it does. But this is literally them taking your blood, basically cleaning it, disinfecting it, not all of your blood, because obviously y'all just take stuff so literal. So I want to be clear, okay? They take samples of your blood, basically disinfect it, clean it, and then they inject it back into you using the UV light. So I don't put it past Trump that he was probably sitting in meetings with doctors and experts and just heard all these different words thrown out and got in front of the podium and started asking the lady questions, and they're sounding kind of crazy because I'm just spitting some of the words back at you that I've heard about these different processes. But I'm sitting at home like, who gives a crap? We want cures. We want things that have been tested. Hopefully, things that are as natural and least invasive as possible. And so, like, I get it. The question sounded crazy, right? But it was a question. This whole idea that this man got in front of a podium and told people to go home and drink bleach so you won't get coronavirus, or to cure you of coronavirus, is ridiculous. It's absurd. And to people like me, it's annoying. And quite frankly, I mean, let's just be real about it. If people hear the word disinfectant, they see you talking to a doctor and asking if there's different procedures that we can do to inject people with maybe disinfectant or UV lights or whatever the case may be. If that translates into their head is go drink bleach to cure you from coronavirus, that says a lot more about y'all and our public school education than anything else. And so, once again, this is an example of the news playing y'all, because they knew y'all were going to do all the clicks. All the news stations, they're viral now. Y'all reading all their articles about Trump and told y'all to go home and drink some bleach, child. But anyway. But yeah, like I said again at the beginning of this video, what would the world look like if people jumped to be as educated as they jumped to be reactionary? But those are my thoughts. Leave your thoughts below. Don't forget to subscribe. Bye.